Hi, I'm Curtis Johnson, a screenwriter and creator at CLJ Films, a division of Dog's Den Films. With experience across various genres, from animation to feature films, my work includes Alien Domicile 2, Lot 24, distributed by ITN Films and currently streaming on all major platforms, including Sci-Fi Central's YouTube channel with over 1 million subscribers and 250,000 movie views. My second feature, Lot 24 The Rental, was picked up at the European film market and is now distributed by Stadium Media. Links to both films will be in the description below, and if you enjoy the content, please like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube and Instagram at CLJ Films. Thanks for joining. Today's tutorial is going to be on StudioBinder. StudioBinder is a comprehensive production management platform designed to help filmmakers with script writing, scheduling, storyboarding, budgeting, all those tools that you need to get your script up and off the ground. It's very slim, if you're familiar with Final Draft, it's similar in some ways as Final Draft, but I think you get a lot more with StudioBinder, in my opinion. I've used StudioBinder for my last 2 feature films to not only write my scripts, but to do my scheduling and a lot of the casting sheets and shot list. And we won't get that deep today, but we will get into a few of the nuances that I've experienced while working with StudioBinder. So first thing you do is you log into StudioBinder.com. This is the site. They've got some tutorials that you can use to help you kind of walk through what's needed and kind of what they do. You see call sheets, shot lists, contact lists, shooting schedules, script breakdowns. You also have a toolbar here that has some of that same stuff. So if you just want to look at what it could do before you log in and or purchase. Now let me tell you, there's a free plan that'll allow you to upload 1 script only. Typically what I do is I get the professional plan and when I'm in production. So if I'm shooting a movie, say in April, I get the professional plan around March, a month or 2 before, actually a little sooner than that, probably like 3 months prior to us shooting. So if we're shooting in April, I typically get the professional plan in January, and then I keep it through production. And then after I'm done shooting my feature or whatever I'm using StudioBinder for, I'll go back to the free plan. So that's one of the things I think is kind of nichey and creative for me, because I don't have to like pay year round for it, for all of the services. I kind of can a la carte the services as needed. Tells you kind of who are some of the customers you see here. It's got a blog, and then it's got pricing. Now, if I click on pricing, it's going to take me right into the account that I've already got established, but I'll do that anyway. And you see, it took us right into my account, but it did take us to the pricing page. You have individual plans and company plans, monthly and yearly plans. Yearly plans, you can save 15%, but I typically stay with the monthly plans just because, like I mentioned, for the reason I mentioned earlier, I'm not using it year round. So here's the professional plan that I typically use. And then, like I mentioned, there's a couple smaller plans, an indie plan and a starter plan, which allows more, obviously the higher you pay, the more file storage you get. But for me, it's more about what it allows you to do down here. What options you have. When you have a big production, for instance, being able to send messages to people in your, in your production, on a whole or group messages or whatever may be something that's advantageous. It all depends on just kind of what your desire is and, kind of what your needs are. There's also a free plan, and that's where I am now. And, you only get max of 1 project, per free plan. So if you're writing more than 1 script, you're going to need to at least upgrade to the starter plan where you can house 10 scripts. All right, and now you're brought to the dashboard. Once you sign in, this is where you can create projects, view existing projects, access your contacts, all that kind of stuff. Right? You see we've got contacts here. We got team. We got plans. Up here we have a toolbar on the left that says projects. Same thing. It's here. Right? It's on the left and up top. Over here to the right, there's a what's new. There's a more. So you can go into full screen and also check for tutorials. And then here is where your company information is. So you can go here and go to your profile. I can click on my profile here and you can see my name, my email, your contact information. You can save this information. You can update it as needed. You can also go here and go to company settings. And this is your company profile. Name of your company, address, update a logo, and save here. All right, so that's all accessible from here, where your logo and your username is here. CLJ Films is the username. Now you can also click on either one of these and get to the same place. All right, so once you got to the dashboard, this is where all the magic happens, right? This is where all the magic happens. So I'm going to go back to the main page here where it says create a project, where we were previously. And now this is how you create projects, right? So this is meaning that when a project is, I'm going to write a script for a film, a short, a comedy, television series, whatever you're going to do, you have to start with a project. Everything it says, all of your work will live inside the project. So what you do is click on new project on the dashboard. You're going to enter a project name and then choose some of the options that it gives you from that point. So our project name is going to be Self-Care in Seconds. I've already got it in here. I typed it in earlier. Right, Self-Care in Seconds. This is the short that we're working on, and I'm just going to use it as an example script. And right here, you can see CLJ Films is the producer of that. We'll hit next. And then it comes to this page. You can select solutions. So it's asking you, depending on what you select here is what it's going to give you options to do later in the project. You can deselect these, right? Or you can select them. Or you can bring them in later. What I normally start with is just write. By selecting write, that means that I'm going to be writing a writing a story or a film, or I'm going to be doing some type of screenwriting. At this point in time, I don't necessarily need to know. I'm not working on a storyboard. I don't have call sheets and locations and all that right now because I'm just in the writing phase. So I deselect all of these and just choose write. And then I hit correct project. Now, once you've hit and create project, now you are into the project. And this is like the project setup. This again is a dashboard within the project setup where you can upload files, start organizing your project, and start getting the meat and potatoes. Since we just chose write, we see to the left that write is the only thing that's been added to our toolbar. Okay. Good thing about StudioBinder is that you can either write your script in StudioBinder and it puts it in a StudioBinder format or a script writing format. That's the standard format. So if you were to send the script off to someone else or actors or, someone would know that it was written in the correct format. And, or you can import your script. So you could have written your script in Word. A lot of times what I do is I'll write my script in Word or some other, word processing program, and then I'll import it into a script writing, program once I've got, some of the meat and potatoes of what I want to kind of say, because it's just easier to write in Word. What I have noticed that is when you are writing scripts and updating scripts in StudioBinder, it tends to be a lag. I don't know if it's that, if that's a limitation of the program, but I have noticed that when I am writing a script in StudioBinder and there's a lot of script information and I'm making changes, I sometimes get a lag. So that's just something to be aware of. It hasn't slowed me down to the point where I haven't been able to obviously finish the scripts, but something to know. All right, so we are here within the project. We've built the project, Self-Care in Seconds. Okay. And we added that we were going to write, right? So it added write as one of the tools that we can use at this point. Again, there are many other tools you can use, but this is just a tool we're choosing at this particular particular point of the tutorial. All right, so I'm going to go to write. I'm going to go to screenplay. Okay. And this says you can write screenplays. You can share scripts. You can sync to the project. It gives you more tutorials, more information for you to be aware of. You can click new screenplay if you want to do a new screenplay, and you can write here and start a new screenplay, which I'm not going to do. What I'm going to do, like I mentioned earlier, is I've already written. I already have a script that's already been written. And I'm going to import that script into this project so that we can see how that works and kind of go from there. All right. So I'm going to go to projects. Here we go. Self-Care in Seconds. We're within our project. And then over here, you have two options: write or import the script. We are going to import. Now, let you go and you can drag and drop your script or search for it. We're going to search for my script. We are going to hopefully find my script. All right. It says Time Traveler, but we're going to change the name. The good thing about this program is that you have many opportunities to update scripts as you need. Names, titles, all of that information. So we were going to call this Self-Care in Seconds. That's the name of this script, short script. It's a one-page script. And we're going to hit next. It's processing the script right now, taking all the information from the script and putting it into StudioBinder. And by doing that, it's trying to read and see as it imports what's coming from the script. So if I have the script in where I have names, it's looking at the format of the script and putting it into a format that works in StudioBinder. You still will have to go in and fix the script in the StudioBinder because it won't be in the format that StudioBinder needs for it to maximize. However, it does import it, look at the script, and tries to kind of find the best way to import that script and have it, be useful in StudioBinder. Okay, so looks like it's imported. We're gonna go and click on Screenplay. Right, and there we go. It says Time Traveler here, even though I changed the name to Self-Care in Seconds. This is just reading the original location. That's what it's called in the original location. So that's why you see that there. Okay. It tells you that a file was imported, and you see here you've got another set of toolbar options across the top here. All of these options are specific to the script. You've got scene setting, action, character, parentheses, dialogue, transition, and general. So what StudioBinder did was, let me also mention that you have sync to project. And we'll talk about sync to project and how important that is. But just remember, in order to get any changes that you make on this script, update it, you have to always make sure you're syncing what you're doing to the project. All right, so these options all fall in line with the information it just imported. So this is what it imported. And you see it's kind of just like, it's not in film, it's not in script format, it's just kind of more like, you know, you have, it's kind of written in more narrative, right? But it is broken down by dialogue and character and all that stuff. But it's not in a format that works with, that best uses StudioBinder, because StudioBinder allows you to write your script, and as you write your script, it saves the information, it imports and updates it in your project, and I'll show you what I mean. All right, so every script should start off with a scene. We know that, and we see right now there's no scene here. There needs to be scene 1. So even though this is a one scene script, you know, when you're writing a big script and you've got 15, 20 scenes, every scene needs to be identified. And what StudioBinder does is it saves your screen location, all the aspects of the scene. So if you wanted to go back in and say, well, how many scenes do I have a day? Or how many scenes do I have at night? StudioBinder is going to be able to tell you that, because you're going to tell StudioBinder that information as you input it in. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go here, since I don't have any scenes. I just entered and gave me another line here. And then I'm going to go to scene. There goes scene 1. All right. You see it put a 1 there. Our first scene is a knock at the door, and they're talking in the hall, in the atrium of the home. So that's going to be, he's outside the door, they're inside the door. We're going to call that interior or exterior scene, because most of this happens outside the door. So it happens exterior scene. And then now the next thing you do is you put where it happens. So we're going to say doorway, right? And you put a space here. And when does it happen? Morning, evening, night. We're going to say morning. Now, by me putting this in here, what I just told StudioBinder is I've got one scene. It's an exterior scene. It happens in a doorway, and it happens in the morning. We may have multiple scenes that happen in this doorway, but they may not be exterior. They may be inside the doorway, or they may happen at nighttime, or, you know, in the evening. StudioBinder is going to keep all this information because it's going to be useful for us at some point. All right, so scene 1, exterior, doorway, morning. Say the film opens with a knock at the door. Michael approaches cautiously and opens it to find, and I'm just going to make some changes, some updates here. Find an older, gray, bearded version of himself with graying hair and a gentle smile. Now, this here is considered action. That's what's happening, right? The first tool here was scene, this part. The next thing is action, what actually happened. This is what happened. This is what they're doing, the actors are doing. All right. The very next part is future Michael. So that's one character, future Michael. Okay. So what we're going to do is, since future Michael is one character, we're going to select future Michael, and we can go up here and we can hit character. And it's going to bring future Michael to the middle where the characters go. And see how it made it capitalized? That means that StudioBinder has recognized that future Michael is a character in the film. So down the line, when I go in and I need to pull my character list, I could have 15, 20, 30 characters. StudioBinder is keeping a count of how many characters we have in the film. So future Michael, this is just characteristic of what he's doing. Future Michael warmly, and this says, hello, Michael. This is dialogue, right? So by select the dialogue, just like I selected future Michael, when I go over to dialogue, it brings the dialogue under future Michael. So future Michael warmly says, hello, Michael. He's talking to himself. Michael is the second character. So what do you think I do? Highlight Michael, hit character. It capitalizes it. Now StudioBinder has recognized that Michael is the second character. Future Michael 1, Michael 2nd. And again, this is his dialogue. Do I know you? I'm going to hit dialogue. brings the dialogue in. So now, the good thing about StudioBinder is now that it recognizes that Future Michael and Michael are characters, when I go down here in the script and I want to add more dialogue for these guys, they're already in the system. They're already recognized, and StudioBinder knows that. It makes it really easy to kind of get your script writing done quickly. All right, so Michael's eyes widen in disbelief. His heart is racing with a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. He steps back in amazement. Again, what is this? Action. Right? It's action. All right, here we go back to the character, Michael. This Michael, that same Michael right there, this is him here. Instead of me highlighting Michael and hitting character like we did before, what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to show you how StudioBinder recognizes it. I'm going to delete it, and I'm just going to tab over to where the characters go and type M. Look at that. Michael's already in there. Already in there. I'm going to select his dialogue and put it up under Michael. How is this possible? Again, Future Michael. I'm going to delete Future Michael. I'm just going to tab over. We're going to tab over to where the characters go, and we're going to type F. Comes up Future Michael. See, it's already in the system. It remembers it. And then I'm going to highlight Future Michael's dialogue and hit dialogue. I know it's hard for you to believe, but I have a message for you. Michael, here we go again. We're back to action. Michael listens intently as Future Michael shares a poignant message that resonates deep within his soul. Now, you notice how Michael and Future Michael are capitalized? That means they've been recognized by the program. We really should have these in the script itself, some of the action. We really should have these match the capitalization of the character. I don't always do that, but if you want to be able to see, have your, just if you want to pull any part of the script that mentions your character, it may help to do that. Michael listens intently as Future Michael shares a poignant message that resonates deep with his soul. What is that? That's an action. And then we go back here to Future Michael. I'm going to delete again and do the same thing. Type of F, Future Michael. What does Future Michael say? I'm going to select the dialogue, hit the dialogue. You are good enough. Michael stares without blinking, his eyes filling with tears. He wipes his face. Future Michael is gone. He smiles and shuts the door. Title. There's a title card in this film. Sometimes you have to remind yourself that you're good enough. And then it ends. The end. Now, let's say that we weren't going to end it and we were going to cut to another scene. Well, the good thing about StudioBinder is I could also do the same thing I did with the dialogue in the name. I can put cut to, right? Cut to. I'm going to cut to. Copy cut to. Come over to transition. It's going to end cut to over here. And then after you cut to, what do you think's next? Right? If you're going to do something else after the cut to, because you're cutting to something, if you hit enter, it goes right to scene 2. Scene 2. Scene 1 was an exterior doorway morning scene. Scene 2 may be an interior, right? So now they've come into the door. It still may be in a doorway, and it still may be in morning, but you see how it's already there? I don't have to select doorway in morning because StudioBinder's already remembered that was a scene setting from previously. So now I've done all of this good work, right? We've figured out how to write our script. Now you just keep going and, you write your 60 or 70 pages or whatever you need to do to get your script. But what I would do is, as I write, what I do is, every hour or so as I'm writing, I stop and I make sure to sync the project. And that's what we're going to talk about now. All right. So it looks like it was saved. Here it gives you an update of when it was last saved. Okay. So this is saved, but not synced. This is the difference. You come over to the right, you sync the project. It's going to give it a different revision. I'm just going to update this to say, right, self-care in seconds. The reason why it showed the time traveler was because that's the original name of the file. And then it sends me here to sync the script. So it says I added one scene. See up here? One scene changed. Current screenplay. And then it tells you over here, I've got 2 parts to this script. And you just saw it was only 1 page. So this isn't saying it's 6 out of 8 pages for scene 1. Scene 1, exterior doorway morning, 6 out of 8. It's not saying 6 out of 8 pages. What it's saying is that this total scene 1 is 6 out of 8 parts. Okay? 6 out of 8 parts. So on that 1 page, 6 out of 8 parts of that page are dedicated to scene 1. Scene 2, 1 out of 8 parts. You saw we didn't have anything in scene 2. It was all in scene 1. And this comes in handy when you're looking at, when you start scheduling your days and trying to figure out how much you can shoot in one day and all that kind of stuff. And we'll talk about that in another tutorial. But for today, we're going to talk about syncing the script. So I'm going to sync it, and it's going to sync all those changes we made. And now it gives us a revision, just like you do in, when you have your computer and you want to go back and do a recall to another, or but you're working in an Excel file or Word file and you want to go into history and go to an older file. Same thing here. It's going to give you revisions every time you make an update and or you do a sync the project. It's going to give you a different revision, so you can, if you need to go back in and do any adjustments or make any adjustments, it's going to allow you to do that. Yeah, so that was a quick tutorial on how to start a script in StudioBinder, to get going, create a project, and how to start writing on your script and using the script toolbar to create your characters, your dialogue, and the information you need just to get your script up and off the ground. Our next tutorial will get a little more detailed, and we'll talk a little bit more about some of the other tools like scheduling, budgeting, shot lists, call sheets, and other things like that. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it.